Hello guys, welcome back to the Gamer Muscle YouTube channel, and in this video we're not going to be doing any sim racing. This video is this is just my personal counselling session, so bear with me. And if you're only interested in sim racing and your gaming and stuff, then don't watch this. Just go to other things, and you'll be happy. So with that warning out of the way, first of all, obviously I haven't been streaming or doing videos, not been 100% well, but fortunately it's not been that bad, and I'm starting to feel a lot better. So we should be back soon, hopefully. I'm actually dying to do some driving, get involved with things, and just get back to doing stuff, you know. So yes, now with myself out of the way, I'd like to say, I mean, I hope all you guys, I hope all our subscribers are doing well. I mean, I don't care about people that aren't subscribers. You know, they don't matter. Just the subscribers, especially ones that click the like button. I hope you're good. All the rest, I hope you're not. No, obviously, I hope everyone, you know, the best for everyone. You can't really do anything. You kind of do feel helpless that, you know, you want people to be well. Everyone wants everyone to be well. Hopefully they are. Probably they're not. But you know how it is. But what I could say is, for those of you that are unwell, hopefully you can stay calm. And for the vast majority of people, you know, if you're not an at-risk group and you're relatively healthy, it might be pretty stressful, but you'll be fine, most likely. For everyone else, I just hope the best for you, because that's all that we can do. That out of the way, I want to talk about some stuff, as I say. This is mostly just for me to feel better, because if I don't say this, I will have a mental breakdown. This time has been very frustrating for me personally. I'm sure it's been frustrating for a lot of people. So a lot of people probably feel the same way as me. And so, what's been specifically frustrating? Let's go through the list of frustrating things. This is what my psychiatrist told me to do. I actually have a psychiatrist. This is what they would tell me to do. So the first thing that's really, I think a lot of people are finding difficult, is that there's so many people not taking stuff seriously. It's not hard. You have to isolate yourself from other people. I mean, maybe it's not hard for those of us that YouTube and spend most of our lives in a sim rig, but the instructions are pretty clear. Unless you're a key worker, as put on the list, which a list that should have been put out a long time ago, but unless you're a key worker, or you know, you specifically have to go out to get food, or you know, basic stuff, or you know, you're actually very ill and you need to go to the doctors, just stay away from people. It's really quite pleasant. I think most people know this, but a lot of people, you've seen like groups of people at stuff still, or people meeting up, people ignoring it. And it's driving me crazy when there seems to be sort of 40% or so people who get it, who are being really proactive in keeping to themselves, staying away from people. There seems to be like 20, 25, I'm just making percentages up here. There seems to be a good number of people that are acting as if everything's fine. And it's like, no, it's really frustrating. And the thing is like everyone needs to act as if they are already infected. And that if you interact with people, you might kill them. It's that easy. And if you're someone that's watching this and you're thinking to yourself, you're like, oh, you know, it's not that bad. It's only a cold for like younger people. What I would say is, just imagine you've hold your breath for 2 minutes now, and at the end of the 2 minutes or so, when you want to breathe, you don't breathe. And imagine being in that state of feeling like you want to breathe for 10 plus hours. If that doesn't scare you, and you think you know you don't want that to happen to you, and you don't want to cause that kind of feeling to other people, then you know that you have to think about that. I wish there was a way to convey to the people that weren't taking it seriously how serious it is, and how minimal it is to isolate yourself. There's people complaining about being on their own and feeling like, oh no, what am I going to do? It's like, well, be grateful you're breathing. so there's that. That's I wish people would take things more seriously. The other thing is that's driving me a bit crazy. Again, apologies for this just literally being a counselling video for me. The government response on this has been terrible. Not only their slowness, but also their messaging has been utterly atrocious. And I think it's really important to say this now, and that people need to be aware of it. I want this to be like noted in history, so that in 2 years' time, people don't go, well, they did the best they could, or they took the actions that were required, and oh, it was a hard situation, it was confusing. No, it wasn't. I mean, it's complex, but 2 weeks ago, it was blatantly apparent. If you listen to the World Health Organization, scientists, and doctors on the ground, both not initially from China, which fine, that was like more like a month ago, 2 months ago, a long time ago. Fine at that point, you'd be like, okay, it's a little bit of an excuse for being slow to react. But you had doctors in Italy like 3-4 weeks ago pointing things out very clearly, and all the health bodies in many countries actually reacting quite appropriately. But the British government, and I think this is also the case with the American government, they just didn't react at all, and put out very vague messaging. So there's a debate on if you close schools and stuff, because you don't want to take you want it so that nurses don't have to come home and look after the children. So there's certain things that do have to stay open that you don't close, and there's key workers and specific businesses where you don't mandate that they close. You basically mandate that people work at home if they can. But schools and stuff, fine, that's not a problem. But stuff like bars, clubs, entertainment, cinemas, and everything, there's no reason. So it's the 22nd today. There's no reason that 2 weeks ago those kind of frivolous entertainment activities couldn't have been closed down. Like, the government should have closed them down and said, look, they have to close, and those places can then potentially apply for their insurance or whatever they need to do, or they just need to be closed. There's no need to increase the spread of the virus that's going around needlessly. What's the benefit? You can have a few drinks and you can pretend everything's fine with your friends, at the expense of, in all likelihood, based off all the evidence that's presented, that you're going to infect and overload the NHS and health systems. So that just blows my mind that hadn't happened earlier. Now they have actually mandated that stuff's closed down. Too late, better late than never. But the government hasn't clearly listed, clearly presented things. They've done a couple of talks and things. It's just really not been clear messaging. The British government especially, and they've really not emphasised the fact of people need to isolate themselves. You have to stay at home. They've been very vague about it, and if anyone says they haven't been vague, after the initial government telling people to isolate, you had literally the Prime Minister's dad on TV saying he's going to go out for a drink still. If you've got the Prime Minister's dad, everyone's free, like in your family, people are free to do what they want to say and do, but in a pandemic situation, if you've got the Prime Minister's dad on TV basically contravening the action and not following the scientific advice and doing it in a promoting way, that's utterly negligent, and just their general approach is complete negligence, and we can't forget that. If in 2 years' time people are making excuses for this, I'm going to go back to this video because I'm going to have yeah. So anyway, there's that. And separate to all that, I'm getting this out there, guys. If you turned off this video by now, you've already turned it off. Sorry for those of you that have to watch this because you like being tortured. The other aspect is, of course, many of you guys that follow the channel know that I wasn't particularly happy with the general election result, and the reason for that is largely because of the Tories in general have massively underfunded the NHS for an extended period of time, and as a result, it's always been on like total overload, even at the best of times. The reason why that's not good is because if anything unexpected happens, not even a pandemic, just like there's some just a sudden load, maybe flu slightly worse or something, or whatever, lots of people needlessly die. And even in the best of times, but prior to this pandemic, I'm sure anyone that has friends with mental health issues or people that need to access the sort of external parts of the NHS, you all know it's been really, really difficult for a lot of people, and a lot of people will have needlessly died. But now, everyone, hopefully, is aware that it's utterly unacceptable, and the Tories again, so previous governments as well, but underfunding it's not really just a Tory thing, it's just like underfunding your health service is not acceptable. So this is going to be hopefully a real wake up call to people as to why it's not acceptable, because we are going to see hundreds of thousands of dead people that are dying for no reason. There's going to be a lot of people that die from the virus, which would have, they're vulnerable people. They would have died even if you had a good healthcare system. That's terrible, but that would happen in best case scenarios. But there's going to be a phenomenal number of dead people from this, which is utterly needless, and in a well developed, strong country, there's no excuse. So anyway, that's just very depressing, really. I just have to say it. It makes me feel better. I'm sorry to that. I'm sure many of the viewers watching this, you probably agree with me. I just have to say it, otherwise I'll have a mental breakdown. So that out of the way, food shortage situation. What is wrong with some people? All you have to do is buy enough food for a month, or maybe even 2 months, and you can just in terms of calories, you could get some couple of litres of UHT milk, basic tin like soups and things. I mean, for the last I've been isolating myself for the last I think it's like over 2 weeks now, and I've just been having tin soup for breakfast. It's not ideal, but it's perfectly fine. Who cares? It's like, and even if you've got a family, you obviously need more food for a family, and you probably want to keep things feeling more normal, so your kids aren't worrying and stuff. You make it as nice as possible whilst you're at home. You can still buy like perfectly normal amounts of food without going crazy, and still have a ridiculously high quality of life at home, and really nice I'd assume most of our viewers, obviously very intelligent people that watch this channel, best people in society, you'll probably all agree with me going, oh my, you're probably getting frustrated by this as well. But the separate thing to that, and again it kind of falls back to the government aspect of it, is that obviously some people will irrationally panic, and they'll panic buy. And so why hasn't the government stepped in with procedures for mandating that if you buy more than a certain item, the price of it goes up, or you have a specific policy, a specific list of things that retail outlets then have to follow, and you say this is what you need to follow, and then as a result, it averages out what's available on the store shelves, so people can access things. Disabled people, old people, people working in the health service that can't go to the shop at the first thing in the morning or just slow can still access stuff. That's the aspect of total government failure, which the media aren't calling the government out on this particularly. I mean, I understand with the media, you don't want people to, you kind of want people to go along with things, and it's not pragmatic now to be critical, but at the same time, I know if I don't say this now, people in the future, other people will say this now, but people in the future will be like, oh, well, no one pointed it out. Well, here you go, we're pointing it out. But anyway, the point is the government should have a list of things that are clearly defined that retail chains should be able to follow, and either that or the retail chains need to follow it themselves. But I mean, at this rate, I personally, I've got like 200 millilitres of milk left. I'm going to have to get a friend to pick up some milk, and I've got no biscuits. I've got like 40 tea bags. If I can't get milk and tea bags, I don't even need food. If I've not got milk and tea bags, I mean, I might as well. That's it. It's over. No tea. What's the point in living, guys? So, yeah. And the toilet paper thing. Well, I don't need to say anything about the toilet paper thing. Oh my God. There's going to be people with like mountains of toilet paper. I mean, at the end of this, at least if there's an earthquake in the UK, we'll be able to build buildings out of toilet paper. We could use all the surplus toilet paper to build additional hospitals. There you go, another game of muscle solution. So yeah, you know, just the whole thing. Like, there's the. I'm sure you guys feel this. A lot of people probably feel the same way. You've got like the virus situation, which is depressing and really bad, and you know, it's just sad, to be honest. And as is any like natural disaster. But you know, if there's like a tsunami or a disaster, it's like, well, that's nature, and it's sad, but you just have to deal with it, and accept what's out of your control. What I think is what is just really, really frustrating are the aspects that are occurring right now that are totally avoidable. There's like no excuse to them, and yet here we are. So that's what I've always had a problem with. I've never had a problem with stuff that's out of my hands. Like, if it's out of your hands, it's out of your hands. I mean, technically, I guess what the government does is out of our hands, anyway. So really should approach the same psychology to it. But it's hard to apply that to that. Probably should do that for my own mental health. Anyway, guys, this is, as I say, this whole video is just wittering to make me feel a little bit better and more relaxed, and also so when we go back to live stream soon, I can just tell people, watch this video, so I don't have to keep repeating myself in a live stream, because I really want to just be focus on positive stuff and distractions. But I kind of feel like if I only focus on positive stuff in a live stream, I know we always argue and we're always critical in live streams, but if I purposely force myself to be additionally positive in live streams and future videos, it just feels disingenuous to me if I'm not actually being honest, or haven't been honest in a previous video I can direct people to. I mean, that might not make any sense, but that makes logical sense to me, and it makes me feel better. So that's what's happening here, right? Yeah, we're going to be back soon for more videos. I really do appreciate people that have people that are on our Discord, people just chatting to each other, just people supporting each other. It is really good time for those of us on the internet in a position to live stream and stuff, to act as a avenue for people to just chat, because it's going to be really difficult. A lot of people are going to have relatives dying and people affected by it, so it's a really good chance for people to just alleviate some of that stress, and it might not actually fix things, but at least it makes you feel a bit better. So yeah, thanks to everyone for being cool on the Discord, and thanks to everyone that's going to be cool in the chat room. I still take the piss out of each other. Still take the piss out of me. That's what we're here for. But yeah, Jesus, 17 minutes. Right, that's my counselling session over. I can't afford any more counselling. But that's it. There's no, I mean, subscribe and like. Who cares? Don't subscribe and like, whatever. Just look after yourselves, guys. And I will see you online in a stream or a video very soon. Goodbye, everyone.